before we dive into the tactical evolution that has the entire league in a state of panic, we have to address the breaking news that just hit the Messi family today, December Arsard. While Inter Miami prepares for their most terrifying season yet, the news of Maria Sol Messi's accident has shifted the focus from the pitch to the family. In this document, we break down how this team became a machine and why 2026 will be their ultimate test. Let's get into it.
What if I told you that the greatest football transformation of the modern era isn't happening in Europe, but in Miami? What if the most shocking evolution of a football club isn't being written by billion-dollar giants like Real Madrid or Manchester City, but by a team that was once the worst in MLS? And what if the player responsible for this impossible rise is a 38-year-old many claimed was finished?
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi.
Is Lionel Messi.
Messi!
Lionel Messi is signing with the Major League Soccer team Inter Miami.
Inter Miami!
Because what Lionel Messi has done to Inter Miami defies logic, history, and every limit we thought existed in football. This isn't a comeback story. This isn't nostalgia. This is a football earthquake. A shift so massive that analysts around the world are being forced to confront an uncomfortable question. Are Inter Miami becoming something bigger than MLS itself? 2 years ago, this club was broken. They were collapsing under their own weight, unable to compete, unable to dream. Today, they are brutal, efficient, relentless. A machine powered by the GOAT and elevated by a squad that suddenly looks unrecognizable. But how did this happen so fast? How is Messi still playing like a man in his prime? And the real question, the one nobody dares to ask, is this: what exactly is Inter Miami turning into? We're going to answer all of that. And the truth is far more frightening, far more beautiful, and far more historic than anyone expected. Before we dive deeper into the tactics, evolution, and the rise of Messi's Miami, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Because the story you're about to hear will redefine everything you thought you knew about football greatness. To understand the rise of Messi's Inter Miami, you must first understand what he walked into. This was not a team struggling to find form. This was a club sinking in quicksand. Inter Miami were a fractured project, built on hope but lacking identity, structure, and direction. They were conceding cheaply, losing rhythm, and drifting out of every match as if gravity itself was pulling them downward. Confidence was gone. Ambition was a memory. And then Messi arrived.
Lionel Messi is signing with the Major League Soccer team Inter Miami.
And everything changed with stunning speed. The transformation began before he even touched the pitch. A player like Messi does not join your club quietly. His presence reshapes expectations. He resets standards. He becomes the heartbeat of everything. Training intensity shifted. Body language shifted. Even the way players communicated on and off the field evolved. Messi's aura demands excellence, not because he asks for it, but because existing anywhere near his level forces you to rise. Mediocrity can survive in many environments. Around Messi, it suffocates. When he finally stepped onto the pitch, the football changed overnight. Miami gained tempo, purpose, direction. Passes that once hesitated through midfield began slicing forward with confidence because players trusted the system, trusted him. He turned broken phases of play into synchronized waves of attack. He turned fear into belief. And belief in football is more dangerous than any tactic. But belief alone doesn't produce numbers like this. Messi's MLS output has been nothing short of terrifying. 35 goals, 21 assists, 12 playoff goal contributions, 10 braces, a hat trick, and even matches where he recorded hat tricks of assists. He played like a man with a clock that no longer ticks. At 38, he didn't outrun defenders. He dismantled them with timing, angles, and genius that MLS had never experienced. Yet the real transformation was structural. Messi didn't just elevate his own performance, He elevated an entire era. Suarez rediscovered his killer instinct. Busquets turned every match into a masterclass in tempo control. Jordi Alba erupted down the flank like his Barcelona prime had been hidden in storage, waiting for Miami's ignition. These weren't nostalgic cameos. These were tactical upgrades that MLS defenders weren't prepared for. And still, Miami did not become elite through veterans alone. Young players began growing at lightning speed under Messi's shadow. Tato Allende, Baltazar Rodriguez, and Noah Allen matured instantly. Sharper decisions, cleaner movement, higher confidence. They weren't just playing with Messi, they were learning from him in real time. The result was a club that transformed from fragile to frightening. A team once drowning at the bottom of the standings began playing with rhythm, intelligence, and a level of ambition that mirrored Europe's elite. Messi didn't add magic. He rebuilt the culture, he rebuilt the belief, he rebuilt the identity. And yet all of this is only the beginning, because Messi's first true test wasn't MLS. It was a chaotic new tournament that would become his launching platform for dominance. Which raises the next question: how did Messi turn the brand new Leagues Cup into his personal highlight reel and the spark that ignited Miami's rise? If there was a moment when the world realized Inter Miami were not just signing Messi, but stepping into a new era, it came during the chaos of the Leagues Cup. This tournament, unpredictable and experimental, blended MLS and Liga MX into a format no one fully understood. It didn't matter. Messi understood it instantly. And from the moment he debuted, the tournament belonged to him. His arrival coincided with a Miami team on the verge of collapse. They were drowning in injuries, inconsistency, and tactical confusion. But Messi stepped onto the pitch with a sense of purpose that felt cinematic. His very first match delivered a moment that still feels scripted, a last-minute free kick with the stadium holding its breath, Miami desperate for salvation, and the GOAT standing over the ball as if he had been summoned for this exact frame in football history. And he curled it into the top corner like a signature, like a promise, like the first line of a new chapter.
Messi!
From that moment, Miami didn't just win games, they became unstoppable. Against Atlanta United, Messi moved through defenders like time had slowed around him, scoring twice and assisting another. Against Orlando City, he delivered another brace, silencing a derby crowd that had waited all year for a chance to mock Miami. Then came Dallas, perhaps the most iconic night of the tournament. Messi scoring a goal straight from his Barcelona playbook, combining with Jordi Alba in a sequence that felt like a time capsule from the Camp Nou. But the real moment, the one that turned this tournament into myth, was that second free kick against Dallas, a strike that mirrored his legendary goal against Liverpool, placed with such perfection that the stadium erupted with disbelief. It wasn't nostalgia, it was dominance, and he didn't stop. Quarterfinal, semifinal, final, goal after goal. Records crumbling, stadiums selling out as if witnessing a touring phenomenon. Miami, once invisible, became the gravitational center of North American football. They lifted the trophy not because they were the best squad, but because they had Messi. And Messi had awakened something inside the club that had been dormant since its birth. The belief that greatness was not only possible, but inevitable. This tournament became the launchpad for everything that followed. The rise in confidence, the tactical clarity, the arrival of stars, the development of youth, the global attention. The Leagues Cup was the spark, the ignition point, the loud declaration that Inter Miami were no longer passengers in MLS. They were the protagonists. But here's what came next, and it shocked the entire league even more. Miami didn't just carry that momentum forward, they began rewriting MLS history itself. Which leads to the next question. How did Inter Miami go from chaos to a record-breaking 2024 season that felt like a football fairy tale unfolding in real time? The 2024 season began like a puzzle with missing pieces. Miami had Messi, Suarez, Busquets, and Alba, but they didn't have rhythm. They didn't have a stable squad. they didn't have the consistency a championship team requires. The early months were chaotic, frustrating, and full of moments where Messi looked like he was dragging the entire project uphill alone. But something extraordinary was brewing beneath the turbulence. A transformation that would soon turn into one of the most dominant regular seasons MLS had ever seen. The turning point was subtle at first, a shift in chemistry, cleaner passing sequences, more confidence from the younger players. And as Messi found his rhythm, Miami's identity crystallized. They were not a counter-attacking team. They were not a defensive unit. They were a possession-based, chance-creating, suffocating force. A mini Barcelona reborn in South Florida, imposing their rhythm on opponents who were simply unprepared. Then came the numbers. Miami broke the MLS record for most points in a regular season, 74, surpassing the New England Revolution's historic 73. They delivered 78 goals, many of them orchestrated by the Messi-Suarez-Alba triangle that revived memories of the golden days at the Camp Nou. Suarez defied every retirement narrative, scoring 20 goals and providing 17 assists. Busquets performed like a midfield lighthouse, directing traffic with touches that made the pitch shrink around him. Alba dominated the flank with veteran ferocity. But Messi's season, it wasn't normal. It wasn't even reasonable. It was outrageous. Despite missing 16 of 37 regular season matches due to injury in the Copa America, he produced 20 goals and 16 assists in just 19 games. A level of output that statistically rivaled players in their peak years. He didn't just create goals, he created momentum. His presence forced Miami's younger talents, Diego Gomez, Benjamin Cremaschi, Tomas Avilés, to evolve rapidly. They stopped playing like prospects. They started playing like pillars. The highlights of Miami's season became folklore. The 3-1 dismantling of Philadelphia, the 3-2 thriller against Columbus, the devastating 6-2 explosion against New York Red Bulls, where Messi delivered 5 assists and scored the remaining goal. And of course, the legendary 6-2 comeback against New England, where Messi came off the bench, scored a hat trick, added an assist, and made the stadium feel like it was witnessing magic on command. But for all the brilliance, the season ended in heartbreak. A collapse in the playoffs, a brutal reminder that dominance alone doesn't win championships. Messi won the MVP, but he didn't come to Miami for awards. He came to build a legacy. And in 2025, that legacy demanded evolution. That evolution demanded structure. And that structure arrived in the form of one man, Javier Mascherano. Which raises the next question: how did Mascherano's leadership completely reshape Miami? And why did his most controversial decision become the key to their playoff domination?
Inter Miami names new coach Javier Mascherano.
When Mascherano arrived, many thought he was simply Messi's friend filling a seat. But that assumption evaporated quickly. Mascherano didn't come to preserve Miami. He came to rebuild it. He recognized the club's biggest weakness, a fragile defensive structure, and went to work reinforcing the spine of the team with tactical discipline, positional awareness, and a renewed commitment to intensity. The early months of the 2025 season were brutal. Miami collapsed in April and May, losing chaotic matches against Dallas, Minnesota, and Orlando. They fell apart in the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinals, conceding goals that exposed their lack of defensive structure. Critics called Mascherano inexperienced. Some even predicted Miami would implode before the playoffs, but Mascherano didn't panic. He recalibrated. He reorganized the midfield. He rebalanced the pressing. He restructured the defensive lines. And then came the Club World Cup, the tournament that forced Miami to evolve or be humiliated on the global stage. Instead of collapsing, they delivered history. They defeated Porto 2-1, the first competitive victory by an MLS team over a European club. They held Palmeiras to a 2-2 draw. Even in a 4-0 loss to PSG, they demonstrated resilience no one expected. Miami returned home with something far more valuable than a trophy: conviction. And then came the turning point that changed their entire season: the suspension of Luis Suarez. What looked like a disaster became accidental brilliance. Forced to restructure the attack, Mascherano replaced Suarez with Matteo Silvestri and Tato Allende. giving Messi the freedom to drop deeper into a false nine role. The impact was immediate. Miami crushed Nashville 4-0. Messi orchestrated every play. Allende scored twice. The young core exploded with energy the team had been missing. Mascherano doubled down. He kept Suarez on the bench in the next rounds, trusting pace, verticality, and youthful hunger over a static target man. The result? A 4-1 demolition of Cincinnati, a 5-1 destruction of NYCFC. Allende scored a hat-trick. Civistry turned into a revelation. Messi delivered assists like a conductor guiding an orchestra at its peak. Suarez, to his credit, accepted the decision with professionalism. Mascherano praised him publicly. The narrative wasn't Miami improved without Suarez. It was Miami evolved into something new. This team was no longer a collection of aging legends. It was a machine built on energy, structure, and Messi's genius. Perfectly timed for the playoffs. They entered the MLS Cup final not as underdogs, not as entertainers, but as a fully realized super team reaching its apex. And now, with everything rebuilt, tactics, identity, chemistry, belief, Miami stands on the brink of something historic, which leads to the final question. After all this evolution, dominance, and transformation, what does the future hold for Messi's Inter Miami? And could this club redefine football in North America forever? If you want to follow every chapter of this rise, every goal, every transformation, every moment Messi rewrites the game, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who loves football as much as you do.